how are you? I hope you're doing well and awesome wherever you are on this truly incredible, amazing planet that we humans of the earth have the opportunity to exist on. So the good news is that TPC, thought process conditioning, is a very effective cognitive system or program which is based on the science of ABA, which is applied behavioral analysis, has been designed firstly for you to become the control center of your mind. See the pause there? You thought it was an internet freeze. It wasn't. And actually, it was just me needing a coffee. So, because if you're not the control center of your hiringaro in Māori, in my language here, if you're watching, you're not from this beautiful country of Aotearoa, New Zealand, the indigenous language is Te Reo Māori, and you'll hear me throughout these videos mentioning Māori words and names in regards to hiringaro. Means your brain, means your mind. So it all begins there, ladies and gentlemen. We all know that, and unfortunately though, I'm not sure if it's actually surprisingly that there would be a huge percentage of the world's population who are in absolute oblivious. They're absolutely oblivious. I'll say it one more time. There are so many people on planet Earth, a huge potential, who are absolutely oblivious to the fact that what's truly controlling and governing their lives, the people that they're going to become and what they're going to achieve, is these three things. Are you ready? Do you have yourself a pen ready? I'm just joking. This is going to be brief. The three things are firstly neurological. That's the first one. The second is mental imagery, and the third is awareness. And that's it. People just are not aware of what we call the TMIs, the thoughts and mental images that are processing right now in their minds. And those TMI patterns, thought and mental image patterns that are processed in your mind, eventually, I'm just going to get straight to the point, become your life pattern. If you want to see the type of life that you're living, that is all conjoined with and absolutely a reflection and connected to your TMI patterns, your thoughts and mental image patterns. People don't realize that. And because of that, a lot of people are trying to get this, trying to become this. But if your TMI patterns are not conjoined with what you want, unfortunately, my friends, where the mind goes, guess who follows? Your neighbor. Just joking. You, where the mind goes, you are going to follow. It's as simple as that. So TPC, as a very effective cognitive system and program, will help you firstly to do the most, I'm sorry, where did I get that little accent from? TPC, thought process conditioning, will help you firstly to become the control center of your mind. How do you do that? You must utilize the TPC 2D. Is you becoming the alarm system of your brain. If you are not, guess what happens? Some neuroscientists suggest that over 50,000 plus TMIs, thoughts and mental images, are popping into your brain daily. Every minute, every half an hour, every hour, we go on and on and on. But that's what's happening. But for me personally, it would be impossible to perceive all of those TMIs at the same time or whenever they pop up, right? That's why you realize basically we really do think the same things all the time. So the TMIs that are processing in your brain now pretty much were the same yesterday as well. And over life's experiences, we create these TMI patterns. So if you're in business and you want your business to grow, but your TMI patterns or your perception is pretty much at a level that you're not going to grow, where the mind goes, everything follows. So in other words, your business is not going to grow, whether it's in health, and fitness, and finances, relationships. It all comes down to what those TMI patterns are. So become the alarm system of your mind by utilizing TPC 2D. In other words, you'll detect it, teach you how to detect what's going on. And that there is a daily practice. It's like anything, the more you do anything, the better you get. And what I was going to say, that was basically it. And then we got three other TPC very effective cognitive tools as well, which is TPC Deep State. TPC Deep State is like meditation. The word meditation means to become familiar with. So as much as you can, at least once a day, spend some time in a quiet place somewhere. Try and cross your legs like me, and have your legs actually look like you're in a meditative state. You'll laugh at mine because they're pretty much, like I need to go to yoga. But I'm going to do Deirdre Lee's yoga class very soon, and she can help me to get more flexible. So deep state, important. Get into a deep state all the time. As much as you can, just find a quiet place and close your eyes and just wonder and fathom basically what's happening within all these TMIs that are processing in your mind and how your mind works. So that's the best thing to do, is get to know you. How do you get to know you? It starts in the brain. Get to know how your brain functions first. And the third TPC cognitive tool is TPC anchoring. This morning I was driving from Upper Hutt to Lower Hutt, and then I got a very good, just an image, a good image, a positive one. Just I was able to perceive it. It either popped into my mind, into my brain. And when you get good, positive images, anchor them, capture and anchor them, sync them within your mind. As a TPC mindset coach, that we help people basically, ultimately, is to create the images they want. Because to have the life you want, to have the relationship you want, have the body you want, to have the car you want, to have the home you want, and so forth, you firstly have to imagine that. To have the life you want, you have to imagine the life you want. Imagination is key. What imagination is simply you painting pictures. Einstein's quote was, what he quoted, one of his sayings was fantastic. He said that imagination is better than knowledge. Of course, because imagination really, to some degree, surpasses knowledge, because you're in a dimension that is unlimited potential. It's really, to some degree, divine at the core. So TPC anchoring. When you get a good idea, it's not a good idea. It is a good idea, but what it really is a good image that's popped into your mind. Capture, anchor, sink it within your mind and your brain. Because the principle of neuroscience is, are you ready? The principle of neuroscience is that mental images that sink in the mind, link in the mind, fire and wire in the mind. All right, it's TPC anchoring. And don't forget, all these TPC cognitive tools, and me as a TPC mindset coach will show you how to implement them into your day-to-day life. And it's all about conditioning. It's all about conditioning. And the last TPC mindset coach is TPC guided imagery. A lot of people just forgot to imagine. You know that? As children, guess what you did most of the time? Play dress up, all that type of stuff. But a lot of it was all predicated to a high percentage of simply imagery. Imagination. Like the Beatles, one of the Beatles, one of his favorite songs was Imagine. What's that song? You know it. Sing it to me. I can hear. What does it say? Imagine all the people. Okay, we'll stop it there. I'll go flat. You know what that song says? Imagination is the key. And we forget to imagine. Don't forget to imagine. And the reason why, there's a lot of reasons, because, systematic imagery, systematic programming, the worries and all that stuff that happens when there's an adult. But when you lose the imagination, you lose the energy, because imagery is energy. Listen to me, please. Imagery is energy. Okay, so there's a little bit about the TPC cognitive tools, but it's important to know how TMIs begin and end within your mind. Okay, important. Okay, so firstly, the ultimate goal of a mental image is to be able to process in your mind. The word process means a series of actions taken in order to come to a particular end. What is the meaning of the word process? A series of actions taken in order to come to a particular end. So the ultimate goal of a mental image, it wants to come to a particular end. So image pops in your mind, starts to process in your mind. So it's processing in your mind. So that image eventually is going to become your perception. What your perception is that image that is now held within your mind's eye. In other words, your mind's eye, you as consciousness and awareness can now perceive that image. And if that image stays perceived long enough, the images, listen to this please, the images that you perceive the most, and i.e. you feed the most, you're going to feel the most. You understand that? So that's what perception is. It's simply an image now that is currently perceived within the mind's eye, within your awareness. All right, and images like perception changes all the time. Images, obviously, they change all the time, depending on the external or internal mechanisms, and then that image perceived is now projected. That's right, projected into the field, actually. And I'll get to what the field is very shortly. And it's referring to our favourite mate again, the best world physicist. Is he a physicist or scientist? Einstein. This is what he said. He says that the field, referring to the quantum field, is the sole governing agent of the particle. The field is the sole governing agent of the particle. We are made out of atoms and particles, aren't we? You know, so an image is energy. So if it's projected from you, then eventually it becomes produced. Hence the TPC 4P, which is process, perception, project, and produce. So what you visualize, my friends, eventually is what you're going to materialize in your life. So what I found, this is what I found, is that there are people who, as they, move on in life, migrate through life, and I say get older, as they get older, it's kind of like you got to make sure that the images that you feed the most, you're going to feel the most. And when people go through life's ups and downs and turmoils and tribulations, trials and traumatic stuff sometimes, so if those images aren't replaced and built on conditioning new images, what happens is those images, don't forget, they based on the principle of neuroscience, images that sink in the mind, link in the mind, fire and wire in the mind. In memory, guess what a memory is? Simply images stored. And how do you have a memory? You have an experience. So people who have traumatic experiences, we all do, every experience creates pictures and images. That's what they do. So depending on the heightened state of the experience, will determine the deepness or the deepness of the impression of the image. What deepens the impression of a mental image is the heightened state of the experience. So if it's negative, then basically, my goodness, it's a memory long lasting. If it's a happy thing, and that's really involved the five senses, and it's a real heightened state, it's really great and happy, same thing. It's a long lasting memory. But those memories are images that are simply stored. And what I find is a lot of people eventually, if they don't change, that's why you got to keep conditioning your mindset. The mindset's like your body. If you don't train and exercise and eat healthy, your body is going to get weaker and it's going to get frail, and that's it. You are no longer playing rugby, all right, or netball, whatever sport you play. So the mind has to be conditioned daily as you age. As you're moving on forward in life, condition the mind. That's why thought process conditioning is predicated not simply, but also about conditioning your mindset. Okay, so those are the TPC 4Ps, which is an online course available to you right now. Okay, and with any course that I develop, I like to keep it as simple as I possibly can, because any information that's confusing, it really stops that individual from taking action, because what it really comes down to is implementing certain cognitive skills in order to take action. Because once you take action, that fires and wires and sends those signals to your neural pathways that now basically cause you to imprint a deepened impression of an image that is now basically processing within your mind. The image becomes perceived, projected, and produced in your life. So ultimately, the TPC 4P course, I recommend it to anyone to do, because it's to the point. It's as simple as I could design it. The ultimate goal really is to give you some information and to learn how to utilize the TPC cognitive tools within your daily life. Why? So that you can condition your mindset. To be happy, it's simply an image that you're going to choose. That's all it really is. Do you want to speak? I want to be happy. Okay, imagine being happy. There you go. You do that. You start and do that. You do that, say, for around about 2 to 3 minutes. Guess what you're going to feel? Yeah. Give me an example. Someone can be on a beach, beautiful day. The sun is perfectly, kind of shining on their skin, and they're warm, they're feeling great. Sounds of the seagulls just a little bit in the background. It's just a perfect day. But guess what's processing in the mind? Loss, doom, gloom, anxiety, fear. So all that external environment, unfortunately, is not bringing that person happiness. But all that person, so the goal really is the images that you choose are the images you're going to perceive, project, and produce. Someone could be in a prison cell, all right, and happy as Larry, whoever Larry is. Why? What's processing? What are the images processing in the individual's mind? Happiness, content, no worries. So it really is not the external world that's going to determine your happiness. It is you in the unseen world, because really everything begins in the unseen world. You choosing the right images to perceive, sustain, maintain, and condition within your mind. You are, my friend, what you image. And if you have no mental image, that's a big problem, because you buy into the external stimulus of of basically anything and everything. Got to eat this, got to have this, got to be with this person. Why? Because everything's driven by these images, because you have no image. And there's a favorite quote of mine in the ancient writings that says, without a vision, people perish. What's a vision? An image, a perception. So it's important to have an image of what, if you're in business or you're wanting to get fit, healthy, or whatever, create those images first. Create them. You create them, sustain them, maintain them. You're going to feel them, and then you're going to project them. Okay, so it's important to have an image. That's basically it. But do the course. It's fantastic. It's only $25, and $5 of that online course is donated to the Animal Sanctuary in Levin. It's called the Kadosh Animal Sanctuary. I've been financially supporting them for over nearly 2 years now, but it's my best, dearest friend who owns 30 plus animals: cows, pigs, sheep, plenty of cats, plenty of dogs, heaps of a few bunny rabbits, heaps of birds, over 30. And she has to go to work, come home, and feed all these animals. Phenomenal. So, a great cause for $25. You, my friend, will learn pretty much the traditional type of mechanisms of TPC. I might say mechanism, that's weird, but you'll basically get a fair idea of how TPC has been designed basically to help you become the control center of your mind. Because if you're not the control center of your mind, what are you not? You guessed it. Okay? I'm not going to say it. And so do the course. It's great value. At the same time, we have a workshop tonight at 7 p.m. in Johnsonville. The details will be on our website. So if you're in the Wellington region, come to Johnsonville, 7 p.m. And I run a free TPC workshop, simply helping people become the control center of their minds. Tell you what, I need a coffee. You guys got a coffee? Hand it for me for that phone there, eh? Okay, thank you. Cheers, lady. Imagining I'm drinking it. Oh, that feels good. Imagination. So every Wednesday, 7 p.m. And also, if you want personal coaching, which I recommend that everyone needs a coach. Even me, even I have a coach. All right. And so everyone needs a coach. Coaches are good. I believe you should have, if you're in business, you should have a sales coach, image coach, and a speech coach. You've got to get a speech coach. You might be saying, but no, he speaks fine. Thank you. Thank you very much. What else? You know, so if you want personal coaching, click, there's a below, I think below this video, you can just basically make a time, click in there, it'll give you a time, and basically we'll Zoom it, baby, we'll Zoom it. And my goal when you're coaching with me is to utilize the TPC 4Ps, the TPC cognitive tools, and help you create the images you want, sustain, maintain. You know what I mean? That's what you got to do, sustain, maintain, condition. You've really got to become a different person, or the person, the image that you choose to be. That's how it is, friends. Have a fantastic day, morning or afternoon, wherever you are on this truly amazing planet, and I look forward to meeting you in person. Also, we got the retreats coming up next year, 225, booking to those in Taupo. Going to be great. And we got weekend retreats as well, TPC boot camps. The whole thing is good to go for 225. Yes, we're alive. Okay, guys, got to fly. TPC in the house. Peace.